What's happening, team? Liam from Lazarus Personal Training, trying something a little bit different, I guess. This is just going to be sort of like my raw take of the week and things that I've come across and all those sort of things. So we'll see how it pans out, really. Big news for me, I guess, this week as I turned 27 on Wednesday. I'm at that point now where birthdays don't really mean anything, but I've never really been a big fan of birthdays anyway. Something that I do find though is pretty much after every birthday I do have a slight slump in terms of my mental health and just feeling generally positive. It goes the other direction, whereas I think a lot of people get quite hyped up about the birthday and they're feeling a really big high. For me, it's on the other end of the spectrum where I actually go down a little bit, and to be completely honest with you, I don't know why. I don't know what it is about my birthday that seems to trigger that, but it is what it is. And I think with Mental Health Awareness Day that happened, we should always be talking about our mental health, and that's one of the things that I find affects me. And if you're similar to that, don't feel alone in the fact that birthdays can be not a scary thing, it might be a scary thing, but can be a bit intimidating, can be something that we don't really look forward to. And in a world where we're supposed to look forward to as birthdays, it can feel quite weird that we don't. So don't feel alone if you don't feel like you enjoy your birthday as much as everybody says that you should do. On a training, physical side of things, I am as close to 90 kilograms as I have ever been. This is the heaviest that I have ever sat in my entire life. And this has come through a couple of things. It's come from me eating way more on a more consistent basis. I've been quite, not strict, but I've been making sure that I've been getting enough protein in. I'm doing far less steps at the gym because I'm not in as much, so my activity level is down. Just generally, I've just been eating more, really. For, again, a world where we might be chasing losing weight, and that's always something that I've been battling against, and mentally it is something that I'm battling against, that I am fluffier in my midsection. I'm definitely not as ripped as I once was. But that's fine because my aim was add some mass. I believe now at 90 kilograms, I am over 205, or I am getting very, very close to that 205 pound mark. And obviously, if you're involved in wrestling, that 205 live mark, it's sort of quite a nice spot to be in. 220 is the next one to go proper above a cruiserweight mark. I don't think I'll ever get to 228 pounds, but we'll see. But anyway, in terms of how that has affected my training, I've had a power week this week, and due to extra calories in the system, being heavier, I have been moving way easier than I would have been doing. So I've got a strength test coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm really looking forward to what those numbers might be. While I was in the gym though, a dude approached me, and I think what had happened is he went up to the desk and said, "Is there a PT in the gym?" They'd pointed to Damo, who's the PT at Pride, who had a hat on, and they went, "Oh, talk to that lad with the hat on." I also had a hat on, so he actually came up and spoke to me, and luckily I just turned out to be a PT. So I asked him a couple of things about what he was doing, and basically he plays sports, he plays football, didn't really have an idea about what he was doing in the gym. I think that's such an interesting thing for people to deal with, and I would love to work with more people like that. But catching them at that point where they haven't done anything is such a rare thing. And even then, I'm not working with him. I just pointed him in the direction of saying, go and speak to Damo because he's the in-house PT. And Damo's a fantastic PT. So on that front, if you are coming into the gym, and this is probably not relevant to you because if you're watching this, you will probably be training already. But let's say you don't have much experience in training. If you are completely unsure about what to do in the gym, I would do a couple of things. One, speak to a PT that's in the gym, especially if you have money to afford a couple of sessions or work with a PT for a long term. It's going to be massively beneficial. Two, if you're really unsure about what to do with stuff, work on machines. Now, I'm a big proponent of fundamental movement patterns, squatting, hinging, pushing, pulling, but if you don't know what you're doing, I would say get a consistency rolling in the gym by going in, using machines, getting used to that weight that you're moving and getting used to the DOMs out of it. And just generally, machines are quite good for hitting a movement pattern. Now, it lacks the stabilizer muscles that we really need, especially if we're looking at sports performance and wrestling performance. But in that sense, I would get on some machines, get used to being in the gym, get used to the muscles working, and then think, right, okay, how do I make this better? better is working with free weights, whether that be barbells, kettlebells, dumbbells, in that sort of range. And the machine should act as a supplement, but in a beginning phase, get on some machines. And I said you want to be doing some of this stuff, you want to be making sure that the weight you're choosing is appropriate for the rep range that you're working with. I even said you probably want to be looking at something like 3 sets of 10 because it's a nice easy mark to hit, not that that's a magical number or anything. And he was like, cool, no worries. He spoke to Damo and then he went off and did a bit of rowing. Why did he go and do some rowing? Because it's comfortable, because he knows he's not going to get hurt, and in his head it worked his core. There is an element of core work into it. It's far more of a cardiovascular effort, but okay, he's in the gym. Hopefully he's back in again and again and again, and he improves his life from being in the gym. He's been sat in lockdown not doing much, so he says. So hopefully this is a kickstart into his regular life. Which brings me into my final point for this sort of quick fire video. The most important thing about being in the gym, above everything, above all else, is consistency. The people that get the most from working with me are consistent in the gym, so then I can go, cool, these are the numbers that you're hitting, let's move on from that, let's pull this back a little bit, let's tweak this a little bit. And communication is key out of that. If they aren't hitting the consistency, then there's no point in me programming for them, because it's not being utilized, and then it's just a case of, well, we'll repeat that because we haven't hit it. Consistency is massively important to anything you do, and whatever you want to get better at, you need consistency in it, and that goes for just life in general. So that might be in the gym, consistently going in and working on the things that might need to be worked on. When we can go back to wrestling training again, because I know in Leeds we're in a lockdown, so we're not actually at wrestling training at the moment, but if you are able to do wrestling training, or whether you're waiting to go back to it, consistency in bumps, in rolls, and all that good stuff. We need to be doing those things to get them nailed on and in point. And especially if you are doing moves in a match because they are your moves, you want to be doing those time and time and time again, so they are nailed on and picture perfect. I watched a show from an American company the other day, and there were so many missed moves that you could tell they were like, oh, I want to try this out. And they tried it, and fair play to them, but it just didn't come off crisp. And then you look at it and you go, it's just a bit messy. If there's things that you do, if there's things that you want to do, practice them time and time again. And then when it comes to life, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to just being in a mentally good shape, practice things like getting out on walks, keeping a positive mind frame, challenging your beliefs as to what you are currently looking at and what scope of what frame you look through. Is it fair? Is it notions that you've held for a long time? We need to be actively thinking about ourselves, because all those things and having consistency in everything just makes us a bigger, better person. Bit of a random one this. I might keep doing this because I've got Ella kindly bought me a ring light for my birthday, so now I can do stuff when it's a little bit darker. Might finish off my week with this little bit of a talk, who knows. If you've enjoyed this video, let me know, give it a like, comment down below. If you think it's rubbish, comment down below, let me know what you think of it. If you really like my channel, subscribe, because it massively helps. Also, if you are really unsure about what you're doing in the gym, if you need some extra guidance, and if you just feel like you're on a little bit of a hazy path at the moment and you're missing consistency, get in touch, because I have openings available in terms of my online coaching, and I would love to take some more people on. So if you're someone that is looking to get more out of your training, hit me up and let's get that sorted. Cheers, I've been Liam, and I will catch you next time.